Hi guys, today we are gonna be directing my girl Sapphire. Let's go.
You have been warned. Hey, I'm Sapphire. Want to hear something scary? In this next chapter, I'll be taking you down south to the French Quarter of New Orleans, Louisiana.
I never saw this.
Let's explore one of the most haunted locations in the entire city, the LaLaurie House. In 1832, Dr. Louis LaLaurie and his wife Delphine moved into their beautiful mansion at 1140 Royal Street. The house was made for extravagant parties and elite social gatherings. Madame LaLaurie was considered one of the most intelligent and beautiful women in the entire city. Every woman wanted to be her. But as beautiful as she was on the outside, people were beginning to suspect that something ugly was going on behind closed doors. Like most wealthy families during that time, the LaLauries owned slaves. They prepared the meals and made the fancy parties possible. But rumors began to stir. Madame's slaves seem to come and go quite often, don't you think? What do you mean? Look around. Do any of these workers look familiar to you? It seems like she changes them so often. I wonder why that is. Suspicions have been rising, but with no proof to back any of them up. Until one day, when a neighbor was climbing her stairs, she heard a scream coming from the LaLaurie house and looked over to see Madame chasing a little girl with a whip. There was nothing she could do but watch in horror as the little girl climbed to the rooftop with Madame following close behind. With nowhere to go, the little girl jumped. Even though slaves were barely considered human back in those times, there were still laws that prohibited exceptionally cruel treatment. So the neighbor called the authorities, who had the LaLaurie's slaves impounded and sold at an auction. But Madame was sneaky. She arranged for her relatives to buy her workers and sell them back to her. After that incident, Madame's reputation began to change. People were no longer eager to attend the parties at their house, nor even interact with the family. Eventually, they were alienated by the Creole Society. And in 1834, things would only get worse.
That's just gruesome.
The Madame kept her cook chained to the kitchen by her ankle. For whatever reason, Madame had threatened to take her to the upstairs room. This terrified the cook. Whenever anyone went up to that room, they never came back. The cook decided she would rather die by her own hand than to suffer by Madame LaLaurie's, so she set the kitchen on fire. It spread throughout the entire house, and not a part of the mansion was left unscathed. Neighbors came rushing over to help fight the flames, but after the smoke had cleared, they made a horrific discovery in the attic. What I'm about to tell you is possibly one of the most graphic and horrendous scenes in American history. You have been warned. The fire had burned down the door to reveal the upstairs room, filled with dozens of naked slaves. Some were strapped to what looked like an operating table. A few were chained to the wall. Others were crouched in small cages. One woman had her stomach slit open and her intestines wrapped around her waist like a cruel corset. Another woman's mouth was sewn shut, after first having been filled with animal feces. A man had a hole drilled into his head with a stick inserted, presumably used to stir his brains. Most of them had been dead for a long time, and some were unfortunately not. Madame and her husband were both doctors, and some theorized that they were practicing risky medical operations on their slaves. But the inhumane condition that they were in suggests that their reasons were less medical and purely sadistic. After the news of the LaLaurie's torture room spread across the city, a mob ransacked their mansion and destroyed every last bit of property they owned. They even tore up the backyard, where they discovered dozens of buried skeletons, including that of a small child, presumably the young slave who jumped off the roof. The mob chased the LaLaurie's out of town, and that was the last anyone had ever seen of them. Ever since that day, that house has had trouble getting tenants to stay. Residents claimed to hear constant sounds of wailing. Children said they were chased by a woman with a whip. Year after year, the house would be bought just to be resold again. Today, the mansion is owned by an oil tycoon who doesn't allow anyone inside. I wonder what he's hiding. Like this video if it gave you the chills, and don't forget to subscribe to Snarls and check out our other videos. And if you dare to follow me, my links are in the description.
And next we go listen to what's this?
I'm watching you making my nipples rock hard. Wish you'd lose the bodyguard so I could lick your face. I love your black nappy hair and those hot suits that you wear. I'm wearing your underwear that I stole from your place. I'm a total psycho, spying through a window. I'll kill that Michelle Ho and take over as first lady. Hi, nice to meet you. I'm freaking crazy. When I kill your wife, you will marry me, Charlie Obama.
Where's the one? Oh yes, I will.
I have a girl, she is my girlfriend, but she don't know it. Save her a place here in my bed, by where her shrine is. Check her accounts to see where she's been. Twitter, Snapchat, Facebook, her cars and her house, so she must be in. I'm your kind of stalker, can I make her my wife? Say yes, say yes.
Go to hell, asshole. Crappy fake reggae one-hit wonders are my daughter's type. Get the hell away from my house, psycho!
OMG, your dad's so rude. Creepy stalkers have rights too. There's nothing that he can do. His daughter is gonna marry me. She'll be my girl. It is our destiny. I'll be her world, and she'll always obey me.
Did that weird guy just say that he's stalking me? He should really use shampoo.
The Jamaican accent in my voice is totally fake, but my love's real and she has no choice. She will be my life mate. Her family's so hungry, waiting for the guy from Domino's. I will steal his clothing. This time I'll surely get through the door. Did you order a large pepperoni deep dish?
I did, yes, thanks. I paid on the phone.
Let me put it on the table for you.
No, just give me it. Hey, wait, aren't you?
That creep from FIFA.
Don't come back or you'll be screwed. I'm calling the cops on you.
Just one sec before you do. Can I at least smell your panties, babe?
Come near my girl and you'll get an ass kicking.
You can fight fate, we're meant to be family.
If you come back, I will fill you full of lead.
How the hell did I get nude? I call on the spirits to help make her my wife.
Hey, check it out, it's Bob Marley's ghost.
Promise no more lymphic reggae songs the rest of your life, and I'll grant your wish. I swear I'm a soul, a time that changes all man's tune.
What the hell?
With my magic Marley suit.
My daughter is all yours, dude. Does anyone have a piece of cake?
I now pronounce you stalker and stalky. You may now kiss your bridal of the tea.
Hold up, you freak. There's one thing before you kiss me. I am actually a dude.
David Copperfield! That's right! And now for my greatest magic trick of all time, I'll make an extremely annoying one-hit wonder band disappear!
Now that's what I call magic, man. Yeah. Yo guys, thanks for watching my rude parody. If you want to check out the rest of my parodies, click this box right here. Special thanks to Brittany.
And today we're gonna play this game with friends, but not with you because you don't have hands.
Oh man!
Time for me to find someone who does.
Try Bransky.
Yes?
Do you want to play a game with me? A game. Hack and Street Friends with friends.
Sure.
Okay guys, now we got Tori here to play.
I'm ready.
So first we gotta add Tori. I'm gonna put her username in here. Yep, it's